How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Serene Madness. Today is going to be the next episode in the playlist of the first ones, so you can check out the playlist on the main page. This playlist is basically the first knives that I ever owned that I still have in my collection. Today we're going to talk about throwing knives and throwing things. So the year was 1985, and that was a good time for knives in America. As a boy, in your teens, the thing to do back then was to go into the malls, and they had kiosks and little stands in the middle of the malls, and they had cutlery shops all over the place. And you could go in and it was like a free-for-all. Everything was on. You could get everything. The only things that you couldn't get back then that were illegal were switchblades and nunchucks. Those are the only two things you could not legally buy. You could still buy nunchucks through the mail, because I did. This knife I'm about to show you, they were everywhere. Everywhere. And some of you may recognize it, and some of you may not. If you're a middle-aged guy like I am, you may have come across this knife. This is an original vintage 80s Pro Throw throwing knife. Like I said, they were everywhere. I still have two left. They're in mint-like condition. I believe they're made in Japan. Yeah, Japan, stainless steel. They have some kind of wooden handle. I'm not exactly sure what these are. They have just some thin wooden scales on it. And these were real fun to throw. I use these all the time. Whipping them into trees and walls and things. General mayhem. And they were pretty accurate if you knew how to throw a knife. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with these. So I think I originally paid $2.50, $3, I think. Yeah, $3.75 I think these were, somewhere in there. And they were just wonderful. Back then, in the mid-80s, $3.75 was a lot for a teenager, at least for me, because I was broke. And I'm still broke today, so. But it was a good way to spend your allowance. So, and I did have a job too, a crappy job, but it paid me like $50 a week or whatever. So, yeah, Pro Throw in the 1980s. I looked these up on eBay recently, and to see if they were in and around, to see what they were going for. And the ones that I did come across were approximately going between $18 to $25 for these things. And they were all like banged up and destroyed. The handles, the scales were missing. They were coming off. They were missing the sheath and all that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So yeah, it carries a little belt like this. You just stuck it on you. Like, woo. So anyway, I got a little tiny story I want to tell you. Like I said, I picked this up around 84, 85. And in 1989, there was a TV series called The Young Riders. It was a Western. It was about the early days of the Pony Express, which is now the U.S. Mail today. And back then, the mail, if you needed to send a letter to someone, you would give it to the Pony Express people, pay a postage, and they would travel back and forth from town to town on horseback. And it was a very dangerous job because it was getting robbed and stuff. So this was like the early days of that, and it was basically loosely based on that and like some of the famous outlaws like Jesse James and stuff like that. But in that TV series, there was an episode where they were in a barn, they were in a horse stall, and something happened. I don't remember. This was in 1989. And basically the show was set in like the 1880s. So it was a 100-year difference. So there was an Indian guy, and the Indian guy always had the knives and stuff. So they were leaving a message for the bad guy. The bad guy did something, and they wanted to leave some kind of message. So the Indian guy all of a sudden whipped open his long coat, and he had all of these knives stuck inside the lining of the jacket and on his waist and everything. And he starts pulling these knives out. And he starts chucking them at the wall of the horse stall. So they pan out that when he's all done, and it spelled some kind of a message for the bad guy. He wrote it out, and, you know, throwing knives. The knife that he used was the Pro Throw, which it's funny because, and the reason why I mention it is I thought it was amazing that they were using a modern knife for like 100 years prior. So I just thought it was weird because maybe nobody would notice it, but I did. It's just me, I guess, but I thought that was amusing. So yeah, that was. These aren't knives, but these are kind of fun. Is we had a lot of these back then, and I thought I'd like to show you these because these are all the vintage '80s, vintage '80s stars, and I still have a lot of these left. These are now highly illegal. You can still buy throwing knives. Throwing knives never made it onto the illegal list, but these were also on the banned list. '86 was when the huge ban on martial arts importation stuff, specifically imports. It was pretty much an import ban, that you couldn't no longer import martial arts, self-defense stuff from like overseas anymore. And you couldn't bring it into this country, and they basically made it illegal for you to carry these or own them. But the law has changed since. You can now own certain things, but you can't carry them. And this was one of the big ones, was that you used to be able to buy these anywhere. And I bought most of my stuff through mail order, and except for some of the knives I bought at kiosks and things all over the place. But this was one of the original. This is the Dragon Star. You could find these everywhere. It came in black and silver. And then I also have the Hook Star. Also came in black and silver. Not very accurate. These would always bounce off of stuff. These aren't sharp at all. They had the tri-point ones, 3 points. This was the big boy for that day. These were the Superior Dragon Stars, and these were a whopping $4.95 a piece. The standard Ninja Stars you could get for around $3.50. $3.50. And then my personal favorite is this one, the Moon Star. These were highly accurate. You could get these anywhere. These were about $2.50, and I had a lot of these. This was like the only one that I have left. This particular star came in black, silver, and gold, or goldish, like brass color. Awesome. This one actually has a couple of bent tips on it. And we used to throw these into everything. And sometimes we threw them at each other. We would have chicken. We would play chicken with stars. And we would be in an old gymnasium, which basically it was an old parquet floor, wooden walls. It was an old gym. And it was closed down. The school I went to. And I went to a residential school. And yeah, we used to just at night when no one was around, we'd break the seal on the door, and they thought the door was locked, and we would pop the lock and go in, and we would throw things at each other. Yeah, we did. We would throw things at each other. We played this game where one guy would sit in his chair, in his wheelchair, at one end of the basketball court, and the other guy would sit at the other end of the basketball court. And what we would do is we would take Ninja Stars and we would lob them at each other, almost like lawn darts. And we would take it and we would just basically do one of those, and we'd fling it up into the air as high as we could get it, and we would try to get it as close to the person as we could without nailing them. And the one that got closest wins. So yeah, it was fun. Well, we may have gotten hit a couple times, but yeah, we were kids. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So yeah, this is going on the First Ones playlist. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm re-playlisting a lot of stuff. So it's for you. It's easier for you to find stuff on my channel. This is stuff that you actually want to watch and see. There's something for everyone. So please like the video. Please comment on the video. Please subscribe. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I'm going to start doing new subscriber shoutouts. Find your Serene and Mad World. I'm out.
Don't let me raise up and come over there and put my hands on you.